What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 181, and we start today's episode off with a game against Nottingham Forest here at the Den in the Barclays Premier League, coming off the back of that 0-0 draw against Everton at Goodison Park, and that was a really poor game, so I was hoping for a bit more excitement in this one here at the Den. Of course, as you would have seen the league table in the last episode as well, we are currently unbeaten after the first few games. Haven't lost a single game since rejoining Millwall yet, and I want to keep this going because I'd love to have, we had an unbeaten run with Napoli, had a whole unbeaten season with Napoli. I'd like to have one in the Barclays Premier League as well, which is, in my opinion, a more difficult league. So I'd like to have an unbeaten one with Millwall, but I don't think that's going to happen in this season. But even so, I'd certainly like one. But we took on Forest here for the first game, and the first chance of this game would fall in the 12th minute here as Forest throw the ball, and then Lansbury gets onto it. It's not dealt with by myself, and a 1-2 here between Lansbury and Davy. Lansbury comes forward, but unfortunately for him, his shot couldn't hit the target, and it was still 0-0. So a good chance there for Forest to take a shock lead, but thankfully they didn't. And from the corner here in the 20th minute, Gutierrez goes up for a header. It's cleared away only as far as Ermakov strikes it on the edge of the area, but unfortunately it goes harmlessly over the bar from the half volley. So still 0-0. But in the 33rd minute, Junior Malanda gets onto the ball, plays over the top towards the run of Kelvin. Kelvin gets around the back of the defender, nice little scoop turn, then a fake Rabona, then a drag back, and a lovely finish by Kelvin. So 33 minutes 58 seconds in, and Kelvin with an absolutely superb goal there to make it Millwall 1, Forest 0. So great finish by the Brazilian, and it is 1-0 to us. And I haven't scored a real nice goal like that in quite a long time. Usually most of my goals are some crosses or some nice decent counter attacks or stuff like that, but I haven't really scored like a skill goal, if you will. It wasn't like a proper skill goal, but even so, we're using some skill moves. It's still considered a skill goal, I guess, but even so, a couple of nice skill moves there and a great finish by Kelvin. And I'm so glad I never poached Kelvin away from Millwall when we left to Napoli, because he may not have developed as well as he has done without us, because here at Millwall he's now up to an 84, which is fantastic. I didn't even know he'd get to that high potential, but he's been a great player, and he scored what would prove to be the only goal in this game as well. It was a very poor game, unfortunately. Just like the Everton game in the last episode, nothing really happened, and it was a really poor game, and only, fortunately for us, one moment of magic by Kelvin separated the two sides. So we get the win by a 1-0. Kelvin with the only goal of the game, and it's another 3 points for us here at the Den. And after that, we see that Makola refuses to negotiate. The board comes to us and says, sorry to have bad news for you today, but the agent of Makola has dropped the bombshell that no matter what contract we put on the table for his client, he won't be signing it, and that is really frustrating because Makola is a player that Millwall already had when we came back to them. So we didn't sign Makola for Millwall, he was already here when we came back. And he looks really good. He looks, we've only used him a couple of times, but he looks very good. He's got a lot of pace, he's only young, he's got a lot of pace, and he can play on the wing quite well. So he does look quite good. So it's a bit of a shame that he's probably going to leave the club on a free agent come the end of the year, because I'd definitely like to keep hold of him. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll come into some money, we can offer him a better contract in the future, because of course that contract he just turned down came at the back of the last episode. So hopefully we'll get some more money soon enough somehow. Maybe we'll request some funds or something, and we'll get some more money so we can offer him a better contract. So I would like to keep hold of him. But so we also had a couple of scout reports here, youth scout reports, and as you can see, I couldn't actually sign this guy, and so I went ahead and adjusted the budget. But some of the players look really poor, some of the players look average, and I guess youth scouting this year just is not the same. Last year youth scouting was one of the best things about career mode. It was so awesome, but this year it just doesn't seem to be as good. We've only came across like one or two really good players through these scout reports, and both of those players play for us at the moment in John Anderson and Scott Triggs. The rest of them have been so poor, so it's a real shame that it doesn't seem as easy anymore, but I guess it kind of could be a good thing, because it means that you're not going to have like every single scout report full of great new gens. But even so, it's still quite a bad thing, because I think that new gens and regens kind of make a series, make it unique. But anyway, we take on Swansea for the following game here away at the Liberty Stadium as we take on the Welsh side, and the first chance to game would fall in the 45th minute. So not many chances in this game early on, and this chance was very simple really. The cross came in, the header was straight at Ali, and it was still 0-0. So the first half was very uneventful. We'd have to wait until just over the hour mark for a second chance in this game as Ermakov gets on the ball, gives it to Ngu, and Ngu slides it back to Ermakov, running down the left hand side. I took aim early on, but unfortunately the shot was dragged wide and it was still 0-0. So this game was so poor, nothing was happening. It looked like it was going to be a complete stalemate, but in the 65th minute here, Ermakov finds Kelvin, he crosses the ball in towards Ngu, it's headed away only as far as Junior Malanda. He finds Luke Shaw, the left back, nice little fake shot, then a free ball to Carrasco, crosses the ball in, and Ngu goes up for the header and wins it, puts the ball past Cassio and makes it Swansea 0, Millwall 1. So in a very, very poor game, we had to wait until the 67th minute for the first goal. It was Ngu that got it, starting ahead of Danny Ings, and a very good finish by Ngu there to make it 1-0. And in the 82nd minute here, Swansea tried to hit back. Sans Bravo goes down the left-hand side, takes on Todd Kane and beats him. He shoots, but it's a good save by Liali. We get the ball away, only as far as Rondon, who keeps hold of it, gets past his man, rolls that wide to John Joe Shelby. Shelby finds his man, but unfortunately Ermakov wins the ball here. He goes through the man, and Swansea have a free kick in the 84th minute. Really good chance. Shelby takes it quickly, tries to catch Liali out. He did, but Gutierrez headed the ball off the line, and it was flicked away to keep the score at Swansea 0, Millwall 1. So thankfully we were still in front in this game. Shelby almost scoring though, but in the 85th minute, as Dongu gets on the ball and plays a great through ball towards Ermakov. We're on the break here. Ermakov has the pace to beat Bartley down the left hand side. Really good chance. I tried to dink the ball over Cassio, but unfortunately the goalkeeper smothered his body and kept the score at 1-0. So unfortunately we couldn't make it 2-0. But in the 90th minute, if anyone was going to score that second goal, it would be us. And as Kelvin goes down the right hand side here, so a couple of nice skill moves, beats Ben Davies, ends up swinging in across towards the centre, but Danny Ings' header goes wide of the post, and it's still 1-0. And that was how the game would finish. So it is another 1-0 victory. They may be quite unconvincing wins, but I don't mind so long as I get the 3 points, and that's a good win for us there. It was a very difficult game. Swansea had quite a few chances, but we managed to seal out the win, keep a clean sheet, and of course get all those important 3 points. So Swansea 0, Millwall 1, Michael and Gill on a rare start, getting the only goal of the game, and I was very pleased to be leaving Wales with the 3 points safe and secure in the bag. But after that, we saw that Nyland says that he's not happy because he's not getting into the team very often, which is obviously not a real surprise when you consider the fact we've got Liali and McCarthy ahead of him. So maybe we'll look to sell him in January, who knows. But as a third choice goalkeeper, Nyland is certainly a quality one. But also Sweden came in for us and said, will you manage our nation? And of course we said no, because we're currently not interested in managing any nation that isn't a very world-class 1 or 5-star nation, Ron. We'll have to wait and see if we can get... I mean, I'm still waiting for England, obviously, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But we're not going to say yes to Sweden anyway. And the third and final game here is going to be against Manchester United here at the Den. And United on career mode are one of those sides who, they're so inconsistent, you know. One season they could be challenging for the title, the next season they're not even in a Champions League spot, you know. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but it seems like they're the type of side on career mode that is so inconsistent. But even so, we take on United here at the Den, and so far they're currently sitting in 7th place, so I guess this season they're in the sort of, you know, away from the Champions League places as opposed to challenging for the title. But even so, they are a difficult side to face. They've got some great players in there, as you would expect, so it would be a difficult game here, but I still felt very confident because of course we haven't lost yet since returning to Millwall, so I would have that under my belt here, and I'd be looking forward to getting another 3 points if we kept faith to our game plan and you know, grind out those results like we did for the games against Swansea and Nottingham Forest. But the first chance would come to United, but the shot there by Fernando was well tipped over by Liali, and the 58th minute there'll be another good chance here for Manchester United. As Nani goes down the left hand side, beats Danilo, gets onto the ball, crosses it in towards the far post, but Douglas Costa completely messes up the finish and puts the ball miles wide. So still Millwall 0, United 0, but from the goal kick, Liali places the ball down and rolls it out wide to our left back Luke Shaw. Shaw turns and plays a free ball towards John Joe Anderson. Nice little scoop turns, get around Phil Jones here. Nice piece of agility by Anderson, keeps on going. He ain't got too much pace, but he's got enough to beat Phil Jones. Crosses the ball in towards Danny Ings and trap the goalkeeper. Well, he won't want to see that again. Terrible piece of goalkeeping by the German keeper there, and it's 1-0 to Millwall just past the hour mark. And at first I was sitting there wondering how on earth Trapp didn't get a single hand to it. I thought for sure he was going to just punch that ball away with ease as Anderson crossed the ball in, but it turns out it's because he dived underneath the ball. It was ridiculous. You know, you expect a goalkeeper of Trapp's size and stature to deal with that one quite easily, but instead the ball just floated over his gloves and Ings was on hand to head it into the empty net there. So a bit of embarrassing there from the keeper, and it's 1-0 to Millwall. And in the 87th minute here, Nani goes down left hand side. Good chance to level up here as he gets around Gutierrez, crosses the ball in, it's blocked, but it falls to Phil Jones. Jones finds Fernando, who shoots, but he puts the ball wide, and it's still Millwall 1, Manchester United 0. And from the goal kick, it's Liali who plays the ball out wide to Luke Shaw again. Shaw gets onto it and plays it through towards John Joe Anderson. So looking for the same result here again, going down the left, but this time we switch to play from left to right. Anderson finds Carrasco. Carrasco goes down the right hand side and shoots, but unfortunately we put the ball wide, and it's still Millwall 1, United 0. So we could have wrapped the game off there and made it 2-0. We'd have to settle for a 1-0 win But of course, getting the 3 points is the most important thing. But really, we should have had more goals because United didn't threaten at all, and we had a lot of good chances. But a 1-0 win is still a win, and I'll take the result. So 3 1-0 victories. They aren't the most exciting, but at least you're getting the results, you know. So we're grinding out the results here with Millwall, and that is the most important thing. But as always, guys, big thank you for watching the video. I really have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like because that's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.